I'm gonna talk more about how I got here in a minute. I just want to comment at the beginning of the run a bit because a lot of things happen here. So, I just started my world using a macro. This was also my first time setting up a macro, by the way. I'm not really sure if it saved my time, but it definitely helped me focus more on the runs and rest between them. The macro also started my timer and put me on adventure mode. So I grabbed some wood and bread from the chest. I'm now making my way up the hill. I go around the tree towards another house to grab more wood. So I get my wood, and after that I carefully make my way down the stairs not to take any fall damage. Wood is the main resource I need for the run. I use it to craft my tools, and I also use it for trading. I then enter the last house with a chest and the crafting table. I take the last resources I need from that village. I craft my axe, I craft my boat. I also craft 2 stacks of sticks for a fletcher, and when I'm done I head off to the second village. So anyway, I had this idea of beating Minecraft in adventure mode like a year ago. I didn't really know if it was even possible, so I started doing some research and found out that someone had already made a video about it using a 12x seed. So for the time being I stopped working on the idea. But a few months ago I was like, yo, what if I could do that without a set seed, meaning I would need rods and get to the nether. But well, as it turned out, there's no actual way you can make a portal or lit it. No ruined portal is already full, and using a fireball or flint and steel doesn't work in adventure mode. And well, by the time I got the idea, some other dude had already made a video about that too, so I didn't see a point in working on that idea either. I don't really know how I got the idea of speedrunning adventure mode. It's also quite interesting that this hasn't actually been done before. Well, I mean, for me it was only better, so I just started working on the idea. The first thing I had to figure out was how to actually finish a run. It didn't take me a lot of time to do that. I just needed to find a way how to get a bow and some arrows for shooting down end crystals, because well, you can't one cycle in adventure mode. And I also needed a melee weapon for damaging the dragon, which I could just craft or get from my chest. By now you already know I'm using wood from a taiga village for trading and crafting my tools. So the next thing I needed was a seed. I'm not really a speedrunner, I have just done it in the past a bit, so at first I had like zero idea how to look for a seed. The first thing I tried was googling for 12x seeds. I even found a website that generated them, but it either didn't tell you the stronghold locations or I'm just blind. I also tried using the old SSG seed, by the way I didn't even know there's a new one until the day I wrote the script. And I even started making a route for it, but then I realized there's no way I could actually get into the stronghold. I had the idea of using creepers to make a hole and open up a cave that was connected to the stronghold, but I would have needed at least 5 creepers for that, and I also would have had to wait for the night, which is just not acceptable in a speedrun. But then I did the smartest thing one can do in human existence, and it was to ask the speedrunning community for help. I almost instantly got an answer from someone that gave me a link to a GitHub project that contained documents with filtered 12x seeds. Also, let me just interrupt my speech here. I'm now about to get to the village and I turn my render distance up because the villager I'm gonna trade with doesn't actually spawn in the Fletcher house immediately. So by turning up my view distance to about 30, he gets enough time to walk into the house. There's a 33% chance of getting the trades I need, and here's also a reason why the seed kind of sucks. The Fletcher trading happens pretty late in the run, and that means resetting due to bad Fletcher RNG wastes a lot of time. That's something I didn't know when choosing the seed. Anyway, now I get to the house. The villager is still not at his table yet, which happens sometimes, but I mean at least he's not like 30 blocks away. I do my stick trades and get my arrows. I organize my inventory a bit because it takes a few seconds for the villager to level up. I get my bow and then head to the stronghold. I turn my render distance back down because I don't need it to be that high for now. Anyway, back to the GitHub project. So I downloaded a document that had a random village near spawn for every seed and started looking for taiga village seeds there. But it wasn't the best pick because there literally already was a file with just taiga village seeds. I will leave the GitHub project into the description in case anyone wants it. I'm now heading to a ravine because that's where the stronghold is. There's also a village on the left, but it doesn't have a Fletcher house in it, so I couldn't really use it. The fact that the stronghold is exposed that way is probably the best thing about the seed. It literally takes like 50 seconds from being above the stronghold to entering the end, and definitely saves a bunch of time. So I enter the end, I turn my render distance up so I can see the dragon from further away. I also ate my bread here because I don't want to jump into the void due to low FPS. I use my boat to get up the 2-block wall and the dragon fight can start. I turn hitboxes on because it's easier to see crystals that way. Yeah, I'm bad at the game, you can also shut up. I missed my first shot and it's kind of awkward. After shooting the end crystal down, I run behind the pillar so the dragon can't fireball me as easily. So yeah, it took me a bit over 200 tries to get this run. Funnily enough, I thought I could make it in like 50 at first. It took me 3 days total to do it, and to be fair, I'm pretty satisfied with the result. I accidentally look at an enderman, he even hits me twice, but I get him into a boat and don't have to deal with him anymore, so cope harder actually. I attempt to do some damage to the dragon by shooting down end crystals he's using to heal himself, and I shoot the end crystal like a millisecond too late, which is really annoying. I also tried the second crystal, but I just can't bow. Luckily the dragon hasn't left yet, so I can get my damage with that crystal. I think it would be cool to see someone else beat my time. I'm sure anyone with a bit of speedrunning experience could pretty easily do it, especially on a seed with a villager in your spawn. Anyway, I go to the opposite side of the dragon to make him purge. I actually missed the purge at first, but the thing with this category is that you don't actually need to be at the portal before the dragon. You just need to get close to it in a few seconds after he has purged. So I get to the dragon and start damaging him. A wooden axe is actually a really good weapon for damaging the dragon, because before the dragon flies away from the portal, he lets you do 50 hit points of damage, and 7 axe hits do exactly 49, meaning you can get the maximum amount of damage out of your weapon with that last hit. Anyway, the dragon flies away and I go to the opposite side of the island again for the same reason. By the way, I didn't even know about it before I started doing these runs. And it's also kind of funny because it's like such common speedrunner knowledge. Also, I managed to miss the perch again because I'm good. I honestly don't really understand why adventure mode speedrunning is not a thing yet. I mean, it sounds like such an obvious category to have. But maybe it will even become an actual thing in Minecraft speedrunning someday, I mean, who knows. So that's the last perch, which I surprisingly don't miss. I do my 8 hits on him. And when he flies away, I finish off the dragon with my bow. I'm actually surprised about how many shots I hit. I usually miss like half of them. I killed the dragon and now it's the time I can finally enjoy my victory. I also look at the Enderman because I think it's funny, but it's actually not, because now he's gonna scream into my ears for the next 2 hours. He takes away all my satisfaction, my day is ruined, and now I hate my life.